kind of pitched the idea to some doctors, to some patients, and everybody was like, absolutely not. Don't you dare do something like that. It was like a big no-no.
What's like one piece of advice that you would give to a DME provider who's just trying to break into the space?
It gets a lot easier as you get bigger. It is hard. It is difficult when you're small.
What motivates you most as a business leader?
This is my baby, right? I've been with this company for 17 years, seeing it grow into what it is. That's going to forever motivate me. My business mind is one that truly believes in change, that is constantly evolve, constantly adapt. Do not stagnate. Do not sit on the same policies, the same operations, the same, mindset. We're not replacing people with it. We're just finding ways to make ourselves more efficient.
All right. The great, the powerful Mike Austin. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for calling me powerful. I like that.
Yeah,
starting
see
off strong here.
looking big these days, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Welcome to the show. What's been new in your life, man?
Oh, man. I feel like all we do is talk about DME, isn't it? I think the biggest news for us right now is some geographic expansion, moving way down to Wayne's direction. We signed a lease for an office in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I think that's the biggest adventure for our recent past. So we're really looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. That's great. Congrats, man. Actually, before we get too deep in the weeds, for anyone who's doesn't know who Mike Austin is or Quality DME, can you kind of just give us a little backstory on who you are?
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't know who I am?
More people know you now than ever before because of all this internet stuff that we're doing together.
Yeah, I know. If you guys to thank for making, it's actually fun. We went to the tenor event recently, and a few of the younger tenor folks were there, and I met them, introduced myself, and one of them goes, "I studied you." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, you were like our first thing when we started. We had to study your case." And then he goes, "Oh, so and so, this is Mike Austin. Oh, we read all about you." I was like, "This is a weird fandom that I did not expect to get into."
I don't think any of us thought we'd be DME influencers, but here we are.
It's so funny. But yeah, so Quality DME, we're based out of Northern Virginia. We serve Maryland, D.C., and Virginia currently. We have 6 locations going from Columbia, Maryland, down through Lorton, where our headquarters is. We have Richmond, we have Williamsburg, we have Virginia Beach, and the aforementioned expansion heading towards Raleigh, North Carolina now. We do specialize in sleep. That's 99% of our business. It's been a labor of love over the past 7 years now since me and my business partner Jeff bought the company from the previous owner. We've been growing rapidly, and revenue's grown about 1,000% now. We actually are on track to hit that mark over a 7-year span. So getting ourselves out there as best we can and continuing to grow. It's been fun.
That's incredible growth. I don't remember the whole background, but didn't you work for the DME originally? So it's probably crazy to be in the shoes of an employee to DME, to taking it over to, you knew what it was from the beginning to where it is now. So it's kind of how I feel about Nico Health, but I'm sure there's a lot of ups and downs and interesting stories in between.
Yeah, it was. So I actually started, the company was founded in 2007, November of 2007, and I started in February 2008. Wow. I was before this, and obviously that's many years ago. But I was a skateboard instructor. Was my job at the time.
You're kidding me.
And I kid you not. So I ran a series of after school and summer programs that taught skateboarding, and it was December, January. There's not a lot of hours to earn money teaching skateboarding. Nobody's outside when it's 25 degrees out. So I had a friend that knew somebody at this brand new company, Quality DME, and I was like, yeah, give me $10 an hour. Sign me up. That sounds great, So the company was virtually nothing at the time. We had 4 employees, and just kind of got in and as a job and stuck with it for a number of years, to say the least. And it was 10 years thereafter that we had the chance to buy the company from former owner. And my business partner, Jeff, had done all the sales at the time. I had done operations, and we just seized the opportunity and have been running with it ever since. It is crazy to look back at how much we've gone through over so many different years of chaos and growth and not doing well and not knowing what we're doing. And it's wild to see how much we've grown ever since then, for sure.
Kind of like learning to skateboard, I guess. Do you still skateboard?
Yeah, what's like your big trick, man? Like you got to have like one like party trick you can just whip out.
Not these days, man. My party trick now is just falling and looking like an old man falling to the ground. I will still do it. I got a couple kids, so they like watching, so I still got the boards.
That's awesome.
These days, it's just cruising on longboards and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty funny to think that's where I came from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, starting any healthcare business is tough, obviously. But what were like some of the biggest surprises in those early years that may have taken you by surprise?
I think the one that I always kind of talk about casually with people, whether it's other businesses or other industries altogether, the concept of working almost like a triangle, I call it a love triangle, is very bizarre to anybody that's not in healthcare. So I might talk to somebody that runs a traditional business and go, well, here's the thing is we get our referrals from physicians, so we have to market to them. And then our patients, they're kind of our clients, right? We take care of them, of course, but they're not the ones that are actually giving us the business. So we have to care for these patients to make sure that the referral source is still happy. And then, even though they're the ones that are getting the equipment from us, we have to go to their insurance company to get the money. So none of those three really care that much about each other, and we have to cater to all three of them. And I always joke that if I ever start another business, I am doing it something where people will actually give me money for things that I give them. Because right now I have to, hey, here's a product, and now wish me luck to go get this from your insurance. It's such a bizarre concept, really.
Yeah, that is different than anything else. Yeah, typically the people that you're speaking to, the people that you're taking care of or servicing are the ones who are giving you money. So it's kind of like completely abnormal from anything else that you see in any other business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And forever dealing with insurance companies is a nightmare, and dealing with the problems that we deal with, like shortages of equipment for anybody that's in sleep, clearinghouse issues, which everybody dealt with last year. I mean, it's been one problem after the next. It's been really important to try to evolve as things come up. But I think the kind of the positive thing is that people will always need healthcare. So even during a period of COVID, kind of the world shuts down, but we didn't. We couldn't, right? We had to keep on operating. So, that's a positive thing for us to be able to serve the customers, but it's also a positive thing from a business side of things where people didn't just stop coming and needing their CPAPs,
Yeah, we actually, Mike, brought me to a thought. We just did one of these yesterdays with someone, which our followers will see that come out soon. But I think it speaks to what you just said, where for a lot of people starting up, it felt like a lot of defense in the DME space. It's like one thing after another, kind of like dodgeball, throwing the wrench, trying to dodge all these problems. And then, there's been a lot of technology and exciting stuff in the last, like even just like 18 months, 3 years, that where kind of feels like people are now more on the offense. And, with you expanding, can you speak to that a little bit about kind of if that rings true for you, or any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I'm always kind of telling people the tale of the past 7 years and all the different challenges that we face, because there has not been 1 year that goes by without some sort of catastrophic problem. I already alluded to a couple of them with COVID, with machine shortages, with clearinghouse issues.
Yep.
Some of it might be internal, issues that we've had, but it does feel that way. It's just like, what's next, right? I'm over here. So far, we've had a really good year this year. Nothing's happened yet, and I shouldn't be saying this in such a public forum, but I'm like, okay, how long until the next one comes flying at us? It's just that kind of a business. All we can do is just kind of keep doing what we believe in and what we think is right, the right way of doing business, that's caring about not just our patients, but caring about our employees too, caring about our doctors as well. And if we just keep doing all those things right, we can kind of stomach any of those challenges. But it does seem kind of relentless, to say the least.
Going back to COVID real quick, I saw you guys are kind of doing like telemedicine, virtual care, and all that. Was COVID sort of like the genesis of that kind of new way of caring for patients?
Without a doubt. Even leading up to COVID, I had already talked quite a bit internally to our team about how, why are we still doing these deliveries? We're going out, getting in the car, sitting in traffic, and getting into these people's homes. I was like, it'd be so much more accessible, not just for us, but for our patients too. We could have such a further reach if we had this virtual environment. And we kind of pitched that idea to some doctors, to some patients, and everybody was like, absolutely not. Like, don't you dare do something like that. It was like a big no. And so we obviously it never took off. And then fast forward a year or so and COVID happens. I think we came in on a Monday, and we're like, oh, stuff just got real. And it was by Wednesday we had to formulate a way to do virtual setups. I mean, we had no time whatsoever. It was crash course, figure it out or else. And it is one of the positive outcomes of COVID is access, right? People having access, being able to do these virtual appointments on an ongoing basis, and now people love it, and it's so much better for them. They don't have to take time out of their schedule to come home or go in or whatever. It really is a great thing for the industry, and I think everybody benefits from it at the end of the day. So yeah, that was all COVID's fault.
So it's been kind of, I guess it's been growing since then. Yeah, like people are still doing telemedicine visits, or
Yeah, I think it's kind of flattened out a little bit, I'd say. I mean, obviously we were doing 100% COVID for a while there. When we came back, we really did our best, and not to say we don't do it, but we did our best to try to limit the amount of time we were driving out to patient homes, and it's strictly because of the amount of patients you can serve by doing it another way. So virtuals or in persons at our locations. Hence the reason we have multiple locations in the very populated areas is we still want people that want that face-to-face encounter to be able to get them. We understand the value of that. But if I'm sending a driver out that can only see 5 patients in a day, there's 3 or 4 more patients I could have done either virtually or in person at our location that we're not going to be able to serve. So to scale, we really need that virtual component to exist. I'd say about half of our appointments are virtual these days, and the other vast majority would be at our locations. But of course, there's patients who maybe aren't able to travel or get out and stuff, and we'll still be able to cater to those. So I think it's important to have diversity. That's really at the end of the day what matters most.
Yeah, I think just piggybacking off of that, I think, it's important to be able to meet the patient where they are, right? Because different things are different fit for different patients. And I think that we did a webinar not too long ago about the concept of, texting these resupply patients and meeting them where they are. So I think it kind of just speaks to the ability to leverage technology where you need it. And, there's probably always a place for a phone call or an in-person visit, but being able to meet the patient where they are and kind of offset some of those things that are more labor intensive and time consuming, I think adds up to this concept. Also, people playing offense now, leveraging some of this technology and different avenues to deliver care.
Yeah, and I think everybody, certainly not everybody, and that's okay, but so many more people adopted the technology on their end that it's like, okay, they kind of were forced to try out a video call at some point. They were forced to get a smartphone if they didn't already have one, and it just kind of pushed things along, nudged things along to have that kind of transaction occur. So yeah, it is about getting them what they need, and if they do need an in-person, cool. If they need a virtual because maybe they're living 3 hours away from the city, or maybe they're out of town and they need help, and like having the ability to do those technology facing visits is highly valuable, no doubt.
Yeah. That's awesome. And just kind of shifting gears here, there's a lot of awesome information you shared, highs, lows, exciting stuff. What keeps you motivated? What gets you up in the morning to keep dodging the wrenches? And, I consider you a fellow innovator now and looking for new and better solutions to scale the business. What motivates you most and just as a business leader?
I mean, first off, this is my baby, right? I've been with this company for 17 years. Seen it grow into what it is. That's going to forever motivate me. That'll never go away. But I think my business mind is one that truly believes in change. That is constantly evolve, constantly adapt. Do not stagnate. Do not sit on the same policies, the same operations, the same mindset. I tell people all the time that most of the things that I change and I deem need to be changed, I will go in and say this is a terrible process. I created it, and when I created it, it was great. But as soon as it goes out, it starts to decline on its lifespan. It needs to. So it's that innovation and that constant change that really keeps me moving. And I don't want to just sit back and say, okay, everything's perfect, we've got it all figured out. I think that's the wrong mindset. So it's constantly adopting whatever new things we can, and you said innovation, that's a big part of what I believe is. I'm always looking for the next big thing to adopt, whether it's technology or some sort of concept or idea or getting rid of things too. I think that's another really important one is I'm big on breaking down barriers that kind of restrict workflow. And if an employee's having a problem because of something we put in place, we got to get rid of it. So it's really just that constant drive to make things better that keeps me going.
Yep, they say the most dangerous word in business is we've always done it this way. So I think
Yeah.
you're a testament to that mindset.
Yeah, and
For
I'm sure you hear that a lot over
Yeah.
there. For sure.
Yeah.
How do you keep your team motivated? I know you talk about how you keep yourself kind of motivated. How do you keep the team motivated to keep pushing the train forward?
I think a lot of that really has to do with keeping employees happy. And I can toot my own horn a little bit because I do hear feedback from team members that say it kind of trickles down from the top. Like, I'm very much about having a good work-life balance, for instance, about enjoying your job, about doing something that's rewarding, and feeling like you belong. That's important to me, and I want everybody else to feel that way. So I really encourage my managers to do that, and then it trickles down to the employees. So with having such low turnover, which in our industry is, from what I understand, a big problem, I don't have that problem at all. In fact, at some points in time, I introduce new technology. Maybe it's machine learning type stuff, and I go, if somebody leaves, that actually might be helpful, but they're not. And I go, okay, well, we can work with more bodies and all that stuff. But like having people that truly care about those around them keeps them motivated, keeps them working hard, keeps them wanting to perform. So that to me is really the most vital piece of what I do, is trying to keep the staff happy and comfortable and not running away from us, because that's not going to do anybody any favors.
Yeah, I think that goes back to your point, Mike, of always, not to keep saying the word innovating, but looking for better and easier ways to do things, because at the end of the day, it's the staff that's actually executing on these actions. So the more you can streamline the overall process, the more you can streamline their process, the more enjoyable their day comes, as opposed to, hey, I need to log into 10 different systems and do all this manually. So the more automations and technology you put in the end user's hand, I think that just in some way creates a better work life, because you're not logging into such legacy systems and just rekeying things where they don't need to be rekeyed. It all kinds of add up to the actual enjoyability of doing a job all day long. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And I think, I wish you guys would pay me for saying this, and you're not, but I'm going to say this. It really is what I tell a lot of people I find value in with Nico, is the intuitive nature of it really prevents people from feeling like they're doing something like antiquated, right? Some old software that I've used. Like, people come in and it takes them weeks to even learn how to navigate through a small little portion of their software. But we love that we can bring somebody in and just say, plop it down in front of the software, and they get it. And I think that's really important for the sake of the employees' day-to-day work, and you're right, they do all the work. They do way more than I do. Then they know Nico way better than I do. So I think it is important that it's easy to use.
Don't worry, Alex won't crop that out and post it everywhere, so you're good.
I just got the soundbite I was looking for. No, your employees are working behind the desk, and you're like skateboarding in the parking lot in the back.
That might be like that. We have a pretty cool Nico Health commercial coming out. We're still fine tuning it. It has some humor to it, but I could see making some sort of skateboarding video with Mike Austin, and it might be our next.
He'll be the stunt guy for
assuming this commercial goes well, I think that's an interesting plot for a software commercial, somehow connecting it to skateboarding.
There you go.
Sick. So what else is on the horizon for Quality DME? I know you said you're obviously expanding. You're moving down south a little bit. What else? Anything else cooking up?
I mean, I think everybody in this era right now is talking, AI, the word, whether you use AI, machine learning, however you want to speak it. We're certainly advocates for that kind of a technology, and we've already incorporated some of that into our day-to-day work, and it earns itself back in droves.
So what are you actually doing?
Yeah, so we're working with Tenor. So we incorporated Tenor into our workflow last September, integrated into mostly our front end stuff right now. But where we're at is trying to find other places to utilize the services from Tenor. And it's been great. I mean, it's just changed everything about business. Again, I've been doing this for so long. The first call that I got on, and with a click of a button, there go, okay, your patient's in the system. It's just like, oh, there goes 17 years of watching that process take 15 to 20 minutes
Yeah.
with errors and how many people we need to do it. And it's just gone now. It's just over with. And it just blew my mind at that moment. And so now I'm in
That's
this
awesome.
world of like, more, give me more. What
Yeah.
else can you do? More.
Right.
It's been so good for what we do. I'm not over here laying anybody off. I think I already alluded to that. We're not replacing people with it. We're just finding ways to make ourselves more efficient. And most important, with talking about expansion, being able to scale, because scaling with people is so difficult, but scaling with technology is so much easier. So that's really kind of a part of that geographic expansion, is utilizing technology to be able to make those expansions. I don't want to open up a new office in Raleigh and say, hey, it's going to take us a week to get to your order. That's not going to look good in the new territory, but I don't have to worry about that now. So that's a huge part of what we're doing right now.
I think AI's come up on everyone so far, right, Alex?
Yeah, I would say that
Yeah.
that's definitely been somehow a theme in one way or another, for sure. I mean, it's what everyone's talking about, right? You can't go anywhere without having AI be part of the conversation. Eventually, it'll be in our house, and probably we'll have new wives that will be AI soon, and it is what it is.
I mean, especially
No comment on that one.
Yeah, I mean, especially we can save that for when we log off. Especially in DME with theirs. And well, Mike, tell me, when you 17 years ago, what was your actual like job duty when you applied and started working at Quality DME? Were you entering orders in, or
I
picking up the
started with
phone?
entering orders for
Wow.
a short period of time. I became like a setup tech, so I was
Gotcha.
actually the one doing the deliveries of the CPAPs for a couple of years, I would say. But I've done everything.
Yeah.
I mean, when the company was that small, and through the evolution of a new business, somebody's got to do everything, and I was always that person.
Well, when you first used AI, it was like a going away party for punching in that first order.
your
It
old
seriously
self.
it was seriously on, like, I had a few of my team members on the call, and I said, hold on. I want everybody to stop for a second and just think about what just happened. Because, I mean, it's been a nightmare for years.
Yeah.
And, mentioning wise, my wife actually used to work for the company as well, and she was our intake person, and she was like the fastest, most machine type person I could have. She did more than anybody could ever do. But then there was just like, yeah, you've been outdone now. It's like technology did it so much faster still, and it's just wild, just absolutely wild to be in this day and age of doing this business.
Yeah, I feel like just in general, there's, I haven't been around as long as you, but when I remember when I first started calling on DMEs, there wasn't as much, there was a lot of headwinds at the time. So it feels like, not that they're not going to be ones on the horizon, but there's more tools that people have to kind of combat things such as, reimbursements. They don't typically go up, they go down. Things don't seem to be getting any cheaper. So it's kind of, what is it? The innovation is the mother of necessity, or some combination of that. But there's a lot more excitement, and people are much more open to doing things in new ways. So I feel like you've done that from day one, but a lot more people, it's just a common theme of more excitement of how you can do more with less.
Yeah, and I think the landscape of DMEs that are out there now is very different than it was, a little over 5 years ago before COVID. Between COVID and then the subsequent machine shortage after the whole Philips debacle, like a lot of those companies went out at that time, right? So the ones that survived had to be innovative to some degree, right? They couldn't have been just your, kind of run of the mill, do a basic amount of effort to get by. So those that are still in it and are talking about this is because we had to be. That's how we had to survive. So, kudos to anybody that did get through that. But now we're all in that place you're talking about where it's like our reimbursements aren't getting any better, but the cost of everything is going up. So we got to find some way, somewhere to squeeze and get, a business that works. And it's not easy, but it is doable for those that work at it.
Love it.
Yeah, actually,
Spot
going
on.
off of that, what's like one piece of advice that you would give to a DME provider who's just trying to break into the space?
Don't do it. No, I think the thing to me is it really, it gets a lot easier as you get bigger. It is hard. It is difficult when you're small. Before you have the efficiencies that come with doing, higher volume. It's a challenge. I don't necessarily have the fix for it, other than what I alluded to earlier, which is growing with technology is way easier than growing with people. I grew most of my business with people before this AI stuff came around, and I saw the challenges with growing pains with people. If I was getting into it now, I would do everything to focus all my energy on technology as opposed to just throwing more people into it. You gotta use that technology, lean on those services instead of leaning on hiring more people every time you turn around. It's just not feasible.
Right on. Right on. Well, I guess we could move on to our rapid fire. What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's
All
my
right, cool.
turn.
Yeah, sure. You could do a little rapid fire.
All right, Mike. These are easy. It's more fun. Nothing we'll have to crop out. Let's see here. I have these ones written down actually. What is your favorite piece of technology outside of like the DME industry? Anything that you get excited about or use on a daily basis?
Oh man, is it lame to say Reddit?
I mean,
it's all I got, man. It's all I got.
I mean, the Reddit app and everything's pretty awesome these days. Like, it's not like this obscure corner of the
You can
internet.
get
It's like
in a
mainstream.
crazy deep rabbit hole on that one.
Yeah, it's good value is what it is. It's good value.
Speaking of wives, I actually remember when my wife found out about Reddit. She's like, "Have you heard of this thing? It's like all these people giving their opinion." I'm like, Reddit. I'm like, yeah, it's more mainstream now. Like, you can run ads on it. It's a whole.
Yeah,
I think it's
got everything you need.
It's
Honestly, it's got everything you need.
Yeah, Reddit is awesome. Are you an early bird or night owl?
Night owl, for
Awesome.
sure. Yeah, which isn't real great when you got a 6 and a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Is there a book or quote that kind of just sticks with you in kind of any capacity? I have leadership written down. We talked a lot about leadership, but anything that jumps out at you?
Oh man, yeah, you put me on the spot there.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
was
a big
tough.
reader.
All right.
Unfortunately, I'm not a
Next,
big reader.
moving on.
Yeah,
moving on.
sorry.
If you had to swap lives with anyone, who would it be? Dead or alive?
Oh my god,
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk's a good one. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be quick, but I'm not good at these quick apparently.
All right. What's the
Tony
weirdest
Hawk.
compliment you ever got?
Oh, that one I can do. I was called the most successful slacker he had ever met, and this was coming from my 12th grade English teacher. I liked that one a lot.
I like
And
that.
the second one is, I studied you.
Yeah.
Last one. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, reading minds, easy.
I like that. All right, cool. I think we're all wrapped up for today. Unless Mike, you got anything else you wanna end with?
No, appreciate you guys having me on here, and great to be here.
Yep,
Awesome,
absolutely,
Mike.
Mike. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please do, and we'll look forward to the next one. Thanks again, Mike.
All right, thank you guys. Take care.